Welcome to the You're Not Crazy podcast, hosted by Jessica Knight, a certified life coach who specializes in healing from narcissistic and emotional abuse. This podcast is intended to help you identify manipulative and abusive behavior, set boundaries with yourself and others, and heal the relationship with yourself so you can learn to love in a healthy way. You can connect with Jessica and find additional resources, content, and coaching at emotionalabusecoach.com.
Hello, and as always, thank you for being here. I am gearing up to announce on my Substack a bunch of new updates on how I'm going to be using that community moving forward to share more guides, to share more targeted posts, to answer user questions, and to create it into more of a community with a monthly topic. So if you want to hear about that, there's a link in the show notes that you can go in and sign up for the updates. You could just become a free subscriber to Substack and you will get the updates as they come out. That said, I'm going to dive into this topic. As a reminder, you can find me at emotionalabusecoach.com, high-conflictdivorcecoaching.com, on Instagram at emotionalabusecoach, and you can email me at jessica@jessicaknightcoaching.com. Today's podcast is another one about the holidays because this is something that's coming up a lot, and it's about how to navigate the holidays without your kids. And this is such a raw and very real topic. And if you're tuning in because this is your reality, whether it's due to divorce or the custody arrangements, other circumstances, I promise you, you are not alone. There are a lot of people that feel the way that you feel. And I also know that, we all feel things differently. So this time and the way that you hold this time is going to be very unique to you. And so I just want to start with the undertone of the holidays and the societal pressure that comes up. They're supposed to be filled with Hallmark moments, if you will, but for many of us, that's just not how life works. And especially if we are divorced or have a custody schedule, it's not how the holidays will work at all. And so I just want to talk about the challenges, the adjustments, and how to reclaim the holidays in a way that works for you. And just remember, as we go through this and as you go through your life, it's going to be so much trial and error. And so the hard truth is that this is hard. That's the hard truth, that this is hard. And there isn't a way to get around that. The first few holidays that you spend without your kids can feel like a gut punch, or that, nobody in the world understands how you're feeling. You might feel like you're missing out, or like you failed in some way, or that you're a bad parent, or the Scrooge because you don't want to spend the holidays with family that will have their kids there. But here's something that I've learned over the years. It's that those feelings can change, and they absolutely don't define you and who you are as a parent. As magical as we may think that the holidays can be, at the end of the day, and again, I'm really sorry if this is totally not how you see this. This is just a helpful way that I think about it and that I've thought about it over time, is that they are really just dates on a calendar. Holidays are dates on a calendar. It isn't the day itself, but it is the connection that you have with your kids and the traditions that you make with your kids. If you celebrate Christmas on the 22nd or Thanksgiving a week later, it doesn't make those moments any less special. If you listen to my other podcast on this topic, I shared a story where I told my daughter that I called Santa and arranged him for to visit early, and then went on Canva and typed in letter from Santa, and it pulled up this template, and I just used the template to write a letter from Santa saying that he was going to come early, and he was so excited, and that she better leave out the carrots and the cucumbers again. And she thought it was awesome, and now she feels lucky because she gets a bunch of Christmases, and that's how she thinks about it. If she has one with my family, one with her dad, one just with her and I, when I was going through this, I was sort of hung on to the day But as time has gone on, and especially had more experience with my child, I've realized the day itself doesn't matter that much. It doesn't hold as much weight to a child in that way as like their birthday does. Kids are resilient, and you can create special stories with them around how they celebrate the holidays. And so I want to talk about what I've learned and how to handle holidays when I don't have my daughter with me. And for me, it's about choosing what works for me and not at all about what society thinks I should do. And so this may sound strange. This may sound weird, but like, I honestly don't care because this is what works best for me. But if I don't have my daughter for Thanksgiving or Christmas, I typically don't even acknowledge it, to be honest. This year I didn't have her for Thanksgiving, and I actually had a few clients that day. I purged my closet. I had Thanksgiving with her the Wednesday before, and I ordered Indian food at night. I didn't go to a friend's house who invited me over, and I didn't travel to New York to see my family. I didn't want to. And when people would say, "Oh, you're doing nothing, come over," I actually joked because I would be like, no, thank you. Thank you for inviting me, but no. And like, realizing that every time my first answer was no, but that is me listening to myself. My answer is no. And that's okay. The first year I didn't have my kid for Christmas, I went out to dinner with my friend, and he doesn't have a close relationship with his family and was staying local. And we just went out, to like some place to get dinner. And then I came home. I went for a long run in the morning, and that was the day, But I think the moral of the story is that you get to do what you want. And for me, every year it does change a little bit. There was one year I had a boyfriend during Thanksgiving, and I chose to actually we spent most of the day together, like watching football and just kind of disconnecting. But in retrospect, I wish I didn't. And I remember we got into like some stupid fight at the end of the day, because he was probably expecting me to feel something I wasn't feeling. And I just was like, you can go. I don't want to do this because this is hard enough. And I don't want to engage in any of this stuff right now. I have a lot of holiday trauma, and I just don't want to do it. And my tactic is not spending it with family. It's not having consistent plans with friends. It honestly is disconnecting. If I lived in a warmer place, I would go do something that is warm, but I live in a cold place. So, I typically give myself a project, and that's it. And that is what makes me happy. That is what makes me feel fulfilled. I find a lot of joy in the city when it's empty, or like a day that's quiet. I feel like my brain can catch up a little bit. It's almost like a welcome day off or a welcomed pause that I wouldn't normally give myself. But I certainly have clients that travel to their family, and that's where they want to be. For me, my daughter is the joy that brings the laughter and everything to my family's home. It's also a lot of traveling then to just come back. I just don't want to. And that's a choice. And I'm going to continue to choose to make the choice that is best for me. There was this other year that, again, I had a partner during Christmas. We had plans to go to a football game on the holiday on Christmas Day. And I had been sick for weeks. And I just said, look, I can't go. I can't go. I'm not all right. I haven't been all right. And, I haven't been all right all month. We sold the tickets, and then we booked a hotel room. And I think I fell asleep at 7 p.m. that night and woke up at 9 a.m. the next day, which is very, very out of character for me. But it's if I look back at that, it's okay, well, I was giving my body what it actually needed. I think for some of us, not having our kids during the holidays comes with a harder reality of knowing that they could be spending time in an environment that doesn't feel healthy. And so if you do have a course of controlling X, you might feel like your child is being used as a pawn or that they're being love bombed. You might notice that your child mirrors some of their control or project that fear onto you. Or they might come home and everything is a comparison about what happened at the other house. But the most amount of patience that you can give yourself and them, the better. If you can use the time during the holidays to focus on refilling your cup and not feeling pressure to do things you don't want to do, which totally means if you absolutely want to spend all the days, if you don't have your kids, doing things and, spending time with friends and getting holiday drinks, like, please do it because that's what makes you happy. I'm just talking about what makes me happy and what I have felt like I've needed. But that said, the more that you refill your cup in this time away, the better, because your child is navigating survival in their own way, and their behavior is not personal. It's not a reflection of their respect to you. There's not a reflection of you as a parent. It's about the dynamic that they're in and the conflict that they feel inside. If you're feeling this, you really are not alone. I promise you that. And so many of us have been there, and it's okay if you need extra support around this and around how to navigate your kids when they're dealing with these transitions. I think it's just important to realize too that the holidays, with the events, the school events, the hustle and bustle of the season, the days off of school, parent-teacher conferences, your brain is working overtime, especially if you're dealing with a high conflict divorce, emotional abuse, or exhaustion around fighting for your kids' well-being. It makes the holidays even harder because we are already stretched so thin. And it's so important for you just to be gentle with yourself. If your child says something hurtful or acts out, remember that this really is not about you. It's their way of processing what they're experiencing. And the best thing you can do is respond with patience and love, even when it's hard. And remember to take care of yourself too. I would also reach out to people that understand. Having people that understand and have tools and strategies that you can lean on and build off of can really help. I'm going to end with sharing some things that over the years I found to make the holidays be a bit more manageable. And some of these are for my own self, and some of these are from clients, but either way, I think that they're helpful. This is the one I said already about reframing the day. It's not about the date itself, but it's about the commitment and the love that you have for your kids whenever you are together. You can create new traditions. You can cook Christmas dinner on another day. You can have a movie marathon. You can change the 8 days of Hanukkah to have it be for your home. You can do something totally unconventional, like get a different color Christmas tree every year. You get to decide what this time is for you, and you get to create whatever you want to create with your kids, and also create whatever you want to create for yourself. Because it is important that you also give yourself permission to feel. It's okay to grieve the loss of the traditional holiday picture, but let yourself feel the sadness. Don't let it define your whole day. It can be helpful to feel the feelings, but then put it in a box and say to myself, okay, now I'm going to go for a walk. And then if I come back and I need to feel again, I can. Like every year it might feel different. And so let yourself feel the feelings. I do think it's super helpful to also stay off social media. Comparisons never help. Everyone posting their highlight reel is not their reality. If you can stay off of it, stay off of it. And figure out who your community is. You know, I am the community for some people, and I know that, and I honor that. But whether it's friends, family, or support group, you don't have to do this alone. And there are people that understand how you feel and what you're going through. You know, but at the end of the day, this is your time, and this is your time to figure out how you want to navigate this. And it's like I said, it's going to be trial and error. You know, one year you might feel one way, the next year you might feel another way. But if you're spending this holiday without your kids, I hope you can find some peace and calm in making the day your own and doing what you need without the pressure of anybody. It could be restful, it could be productive, it could be spent with family, it could be spent alone. It is okay to let go of whatever is expected of you and embrace what actually feels right for you. I really appreciate you listening, and of course, I hope that this helps. If you need more support, you can reach out to me at jessica@jessicaknightcoaching.com. You can email me. You can find me on my website, emotionalabusecoach.com, or highconflictdivorcecoaching.com, and on Instagram @emotionalabusecoach.